And welcome live to Folker Field here at Rex Putnam High School in Oak Grove, Oregon for tonight's matchup, Northwest Oregon Conference Showdown between the Rex Putnam Kingsmen and the Liberty Falcons. I'm Fletcher Johnson along with my analyst Taylor Barton, and here to bring you all the action on PlayOn Sports this evening. And Taylor, we see two teams tonight in Liberty and Rex Putnam that maybe haven't gotten off to the best start this season, but are looking to right the ship as they continue into conference play.
Yeah, absolutely. And both teams have dealt with some injuries early on, which can affect, especially a high school team when depth is a factor. And actually, if you look at some of the losses, I mean, talking about Putnam, I mean, losing to Crescent Valley, losing to Wilsonville, both really, really good teams. Lost to Hermiston, who's one of the top teams in their division. So not all the bad, losses are as bad as they look, and they've dealt with some injuries. So I think this is a crucial game for both teams to try and get confidence going. Big league game, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out.
Both teams have really one guy who handles a lot of the offense for them. First, for the Rex Putnam Kingsmen, it is Deshaun Stevens, the running back, who is really a stud for this Kingsman team.
Yeah, Deshaun is a big-time Division I talent. I know from talking to colleges myself, he would have about 20-plus offers right now. He's just academically a challenge, so schools aren't quite sure where he's at. It's an ongoing thing, whether he's going to be a Prop 48 guy or not, but he's a guy tonight that if you haven't seen him play, you're going to enjoy watching. And
for the other side as well, the Liberty Falcons have a young man by the name of A.J. Antillon, the 5'6", 165-pound senior running back who maybe doesn't have the accolades at the college level, but really gets it done for the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy on paper that might not pass, the eye test, but when you see him play, he's very dynamic. He's going to be a fun guy to watch tonight as well.
Liberty will kick off to start this game as Rex Putnam in the green jerseys and black pants. Kickoff will be taken at about the 16-yard line. And out past the 30 to about the 32 goes Eli Skiles. So we see the Kingsmen offense for the first time here this evening, wearing the pink socks and some of them the pink shoes for Breast Cancer Awareness Month as we are into the month of October.
Yeah, nothing manlier than seeing football players wearing pink. You got to love it, but it's for a great cause, so it's a cool thing to see.
And Max Bailey, the 170-pound senior quarterback, will lead the Kingsmen out, starting shotgun with Skiles to his right. Deshaun Stevens at the top of your screen, and the handoff will go to Skiles up the middle. Gets through the first line, out past the 40, finds the corner, and pushed out at about the 45-yard line. Liberty coming off of a very difficult defeat at the hand of Sherwood last week. We were there for that game, and Taylor, it wasn't necessarily a sense that Liberty didn't have the talent to compete. They just didn't have the bodies to against a very talented Sherwood side.
Yeah, we talk about high school depth is always a problem, and when you deal with injuries and you're having to play guys that might otherwise be playing JV, you're going to have issues.
Handoff this time will go up the middle once again. This time it's given to Tucker Fleischman, a guy who, even backing up Eli Skiles, has managed to score a lot of touchdowns this year for this Kingsman team.
Tell you what, Brad Lumen, the head coach of Putnam, I was down talking to him in the locker room before the game, and he mentioned Tucker as being a guy on the team that's really been a pleasant surprise and a guy that's been a big-time impact guy for him.
4 TDs so far this year for the Kingsmen. First throw comes, and it's caught by Stevens, makes the first man miss, has a first down, and down inside the 40-yard line of the Falcons to about the 39, so we see our first action from Stevens on the evening.
Yeah, and that's going to be something. They're going to try and get the ball in his hands, 10 to 15 times tonight, if not more. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that literally every time he touches the ball, you just kind of hold your breath collectively as a group watching, because he can take it to the house anytime he touches it.
Max Bailey and the Kingsmen driving here on their first offensive possession. And he'll take the snap, quickly throw it out to Stevens once again. Makes the catch and is able to pick up a few yards down close to the 35-yard line to the 36, but really working the sidelines from side to side with Stevens.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Liberty's coming out in a cover 2 zone, which means they've got 2 safeties deep, meaning each one has a deep half of the field, and then there's 5 underneath coverage guys. So it's really open against underneath stuff, but it doesn't give up the big home run shot. So you see early on they're just not wanting to give up that home run play.
This time Bailey fakes the handoff and will take it up the middle, get back close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll set up 3rd down, the first one on this drive for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, and offensively, strategically, you always want to put yourself, you never want to face a 3rd down situation, but if you do, you want to be in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2. So getting gains on 1st and 2nd down is big, and tonight we'll see who does that better.
Bailey will throws the quick slant out, and it's not caught. Tyler Strauss was the intended receiver for the Kingsmen, so 4th down. And decision time for head coach Brad Lumen, who's in his second year as head coach here and has some previous experience at the college level with Lewis and Clark and also Oregon City before that.
Yeah, Brad, one of the best coaches in the Northwest at any level. Excellent staff, very well-coached team.
So 4th down and 7, Bailey drops to throw. He'll send it to Fleischman, who makes the catch. Beautiful move to get inside one defender and is eventually run out of bounds, closed down to the 20-yard line. So a pickup of more than 7 on 4th and 7, and it's first down Kingsmen right outside the Liberty red zone.
And I mentioned earlier Liberty was in a cover 2. Now there's cover 2 zone and cover 2 man. They've been going cover 2 zone the beginning of the game. That play was cover 2 man, so that was a running back on a linebacker man-to-man. Offensively, you're at the advantage every time that happens.
Under 10 minutes left to go here in the first quarter as the handoff will go to Fleischman. Beautiful cutback and takes it down, fumbles the ball. It's picked up, though, by Strauss. So heads-up play there by the wide receiver Tyler Strauss, and the Kingsmen avert disaster and have the ball first down and goal likely at the 10-yard line.
Nothing better than getting a 13-yard gain on a carry, just picking up a fumble. He didn't even have to do any of the work, picks it up. But, you know, you talk about this game being a game of inches and which way the ball bounces, and right there, very fortunate bounce for Putnam.
So the Kingsmen have had not much trouble moving the ball down the field on the Falcon defense so far this evening. First down and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Stevens is in the backfield, and flag will come out.
And that was going to be a big gainer right there. Liberty, they moved their defensive linemen, and they went to a bear look, which means they had a nose guard and 2 D tackles covering the center, trying not to give anything up the middle. Well, Deshaun was in the backfield, and they were running a toss. And if you get Deshaun outside with all the defenders inside, he's going to get a big gain. So they were actually very fortunate. Not many times you're fortunate you have a penalty called on you, but right there Liberty probably would have given up a touchdown. So that was the best thing that could have happened for him.
We've seen some offensive weapons from the Kingsmen, but Stevens is one of the main ones. He was out the first 2 weeks of the season with some eligibility issues, but ever since he's been back, this Kingsman offense has been completely different as he is once again in the backfield behind Bailey. Pitch will go to him out to the left. He cuts it back up inside, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Kingsmen score on their opening possession, and they take the 6-0 lead.
And that was the play they were going to run when Liberty was penalized to the right, and Brad Lumen saw it and said, you know, let's just do it to the left, get Deshaun outside. And when Deshaun's outside and you got a defender, I don't care if it's a linebacker, a safety, a D lineman, and it's one-on-one, he's going to win that battle 10 to 10 times tonight. So for Liberty, it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments they make after this first drive defensively.
And out to attempt the extra point, Annabella Geist, female kicker, who will put this one up and through. So Geist puts it up and through, adds on the extra point, and it's 7-0 Kingsmen here early on. Does a lot for the confidence of this Kingsmen offense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's equally as deflating for the Liberty defense. You know, when you come out in the beginning of a game defensively, even at the end, as the opponent gets in your red zone, you want to have that bend, don't break mentality and at least stop them to a field goal, if not a 4-and-out. They had them in a 4th down and long situation. 4th and 7, that's an advantage to a defense, and you've got to come up with that stop. And conversely for Putnam, they converted when they need to, got a lucky bounce on the fumble down there, but they moved a little bit too easily that first drive, so Liberty's going to have to go back and make some adjustments.
And the beginning of the game has really been feast or famine for Liberty. The games that they've lost, they've gotten down big early, trailed 40-0 in the opening week through 2.5 quarters against Glencoe, trailed 37-0 to Churchill after the first quarter. The game that they won against St. Helens, they only gave up a touchdown, were able to score 20 points in the second quarter and eventually walk away with that victory. But last week against Sherwood, we're down 35-0 early, and that cost them big as well. So Liberty needs to come out and answer here.
Absolutely, and that's what this game is about. You're going to give up points and big plates. It's about how you respond to that. So offensively, Liberty's got to come back and answer the bell.
So Braden Daniels will kick off for the Kingsmen. A.J. Antion and Sheldon Pittman back deep to receive. This one will be Antion. Takes the ball inside the 20. Makes a couple men miss. Still on his feet out past the 35 and eventually taken down right about there as he makes it out to the 37-yard line. So Liberty will take over with their first offensive possession, and leading them out will be the quarterback Mike McBride. We saw him last week and has had some good moments, turned the ball over at times last week against Sherwood, but looking to get off to a good start here tonight. He's got some weapons around him. It's just a matter of putting things together and being able to put a drive together here early in the game to answer.
Yeah, and I think it's important that they establish a running game early on and get him some short passes to get that confidence going for him. A quarterback confidence is everything, so I think they're going to come out and try and get him some easy completions early.
And it looks like the Kingsmen jump off sides there. Brandon McEwen maybe a bit early.
Yeah, and offensively, hey, you get 1st and 5 right there. That's a great thing. That puts you in position where you have a couple options. You can go maybe early on now for a home run shot, knowing that you can come back on 2nd and 3rd down and be in a manageable situation. So they might have changed their 1st down play call right here based off of that penalty.
The Falcons led by head coach Eric Malum in his 5th year at Liberty, 18-23, although after year 1, 16-15 in the last 3 seasons. So a Liberty program that's very young, does not have that many guys, just 35 guys on the roster. As McBride will take the snap, hand it off up the middle. Antion finds a lot of room across midfield and taken down inside the 40-yard line of the Kingsmen, down to close to the 38.
Yeah, and that right there was just a quick hitter, and they went with that veer option right there, and you're seeing that more and more because it gives you multiple options. The quarterback can hand it off. If the DN comes down on the fullback, he can pull it and run. So really it's kind of like basketball, a 2-on-1 fast break, and that's what they did right there. So we're going to see a lot of that until Putnam shows they can stop that tonight. We
saw that again work against the Sherwood Bowman last week, and they will hand it off once up the middle once again to Antion, this time stuffed up in the middle.
And that one, that's the hardest thing about doing the veer option is quarterbacks when they predetermine it. The first play, the D lineman came upfield, so McBride had handed it off for a big gain. That one, he should have pulled that. He predetermined to hand that off. If he would have pulled that, he might still be running right now.
At the high school level, how much do we see quarterbacks with the option, or is it a give or take?
You know, I think it depends on the confidence the coach has, but here they have the option.
And this time pass goes out, nearly caught. It was right on the money. The intended receiver, Jonathan Hill, is unable to reel it in. Nice work there by the Kingsmen to break that one up.
Yeah, that was a great throw. You can't ask for a better pass than that. Receivers got to go catch that in the hands. That's one of the things young receivers struggle with the most, is that they catch the ball in their body. And the difference between going out and getting it in your hands with your arms stretched or letting it come into your body is about 2 feet, and that's enough for a DB to get in there and bat it down.
So that sets up 3rd down and 9 now for the Falcon offense. As McBride will take the snap, drop to throw, pressure comes, screen to Antion. Can he break one tackle? No. And a great play made by number 51, Nick Edwards, to take Antion down. If he got by him, there was a lot of green.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great play. That was probably a touchdown-saving tackle right there. And I like the strategy that Liberty's come out with early on. They've gone that veer option. They've gone the veer option. They faked it and thrown a slant, and then they've done the veer option and then set up a screen. So I really like the play calls. Now they're in a 4th down, which Putnam converted on in their first series. So we'll see if Liberty can convert this.
2-yard loss on the play sets up 4th down and 11 for the Falcons offense. Already trailing 7-0. McBride will drop to throw. Pressure comes. He'll throw it deep down the field looking for Hill once again, and not able to make the play, just barely overthrown, and Kingsmen will take over possession.
And that was a sluggo route right there. If sluggo, SL at the beginning, usually you run a slant. Sluggo is a slant and go. You got the SL in at the beginning of the word and the go at the end, so it's a slant and go. DB didn't bite right there. And that's the problem. When you're in 4th and 11, the DB doesn't really have to respect the slant, because if you complete it and he tackles you and you get 6 yards, it's a turnover on downs anyway. So that's what I mentioned earlier. It's so important to get positive yardage on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd and 3, they have to respect the slant.
Max Bailey back out with the Kingsmen offense. The Falcons need to stand strong here, already trailing 7-0. Handoff will go to Fleischman up the middle, finds a hole, breaks a couple tackles out close to midfield, just short of it to about the 47.5-yard line, a gain of about 8.
Yeah, that was just a simple trap right there. That was great blocking by the Hogs up front for Putnam. And you know, any game you watch, when you see a running back, skill position guys are the ones that get talked about, but anytime there's a big run or big pass play, it's as a result of the linemen doing a great job of giving time to the quarterback or giving a hold of the running back.
2nd down and 2. Handoff will go to Skiles this time off the right side, across midfield, and eventually pushed out of bounds at the Liberty 47-yard line. Good enough for a 1st down, though, after a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and I think for Liberty defensively, they're staying in that cover 2 shell, which means you got 2 safeties 15 yards back. I think they've got to get out of that and put 8 guys in the box and make Putnam beat you with the pass. You know, it's easier to run than pass. So on offense, if they're successful running, they're just going to keep running. I think Liberty has to make some adjustments, put some extra guys in the box, and make Putnam beat them through the air.
So first down and 10 for the Kingsmen at the Liberty 47-yard line. Handoff will go to Fleischman up the middle. Big hole across inside the 40, inside the 30, and tripped up as he goes down near the 25-yard line. I believe that was the running back, Antillon, who was able to trip him up, and a big tackle there from the Liberty defense, but not after a huge gain.
Yeah, Fleischman has that good combination of having vision, having the speed, and then the strength to break through arm tackles, and you saw a combination of all of that right there on that run.
Kingsmen running that up-tempo, no-huddle offense, and they're already back at it. Handoff will go to Fleischman once again. This time, a couple of Liberty defenders there to stack him up, but he's still able to fall forward for close to a gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, and Liberty right there, as they get backed up into their own goal line, the safeties don't have to be as deep to respect deep passes. So all of a sudden they're getting closer in the box, and that's why you saw Liberty get contact on the running back earlier right there. Now they just got to take the guy down and not let him carry him 4 yards.
So the Kingsmen running very up-tempo here. That snap within 20 seconds of the last one. And this pass incomplete as he was looking for his receiver, Devin Hager, but is separated from the ball by Michael Feltman of Liberty.
Yeah, and he'd like to have that one back. That was a great pass. Max Bailey putting the ball right on the money. A lot of times, usually when a receiver drops a pass, it's because he's turning to run before he catches it. You know, for young receivers, you got to catch the ball first, then get yards after the catch. He pulled his eyes, thought about the run afterward, and as a result, dropped out.
Sets up 3rd down and 7 for the Kingsmen. Stevens in motion, fake the handoff to him. Bailey will run it up the middle. He's got a lot of room. Down inside the 15, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line goes Max Bailey, and the Kingsmen are back in business once again.
Well, that's what a player like Deshaun Stevens does for you. When you fake it, a run to him, a sweep out wide, about 4 defenders out of the 11 right there ran outside because they thought he was going to get it, and Max Bailey pulled it and got a big run.
Back at it. Here we go. Skiles gets the handoff, breaks an arm tackle down inside the 5, and pushing his way down to about the 3-yard line, pickup of 6 yards as the Kingsmen continue to pound that Liberty defense.
Yeah, and again, we talk about the guys up front. These running backs on Putnam, they're not being touched until they're about 6, 7, 8 yards deep in the opponent's field. So the D-line's got to do a better job of stopping them up front.
Handoff goes to Skiles, nearly fumbled it away, but walks into the end zone. And the Kingsmen, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. They jump out to the 13-0 lead under 6 minutes left to go here in the first.
Yeah, and I think this is what Putnam needed. We talked about coming out, both teams, the start was going to be important, and I think for Putnam to come out, Putnam is the better of these 2 teams. But the great thing about sports and football is that on any given Friday night in high school, any team can win if you sleep on them. So for Putnam, coming out early, getting going, and putting the ball in twice is what they needed.
Geist's extra point is up and through. So just over 6 minutes into the first quarter, the Kingsmen out to a quick 14-0 lead here on Play on Sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And back live at Fulker Field out here at Rex Putnam High School in Oak Grove, Oregon, just outside of Portland, Oregon. A beautiful night once again as the sun sets over the Pacific Range. And pleasure to bring you football here on Play on Sports. Fletcher Johnson and Taylor Barton with you. And Taylor, it's been all Kingsmen early.
Yeah, it sure has, and that's what I love about football in the first half is you see what both teams come out with strategy-wise, offensively and defensively, based off of film of scouting their opponent. And then the second half, they come out and make adjustments to what they saw in the first half. And early on, you saw that Putnam's coaches really thought they could hammer out a running game against this Liberty defense, and early on they have. And until Liberty stops the run, there's no reason for Putnam to even have to throw the ball and risk throwing an interception or getting a quarterback hit and fumbling. So Liberty's going to have to start putting more guys in the box and stopping the run.
Braden Daniels set to kick off once again. Antillon and Pittman back deep. This kick will go down to Pittman, who will take it at the 15. Fake the reverse. Tries to cut it upfield, but taken down by the first man down on the coverage. That's Moen Rezai, who's able to take down Pittman, and Liberty will start at their own 27.
And Moen made sure before the game 4 different occasions to let me know anytime we mentioned his name to call him the Fonz.
All right, that's a lot easier.
Yeah,
I like that.
Definitely is, and he's got the Fonz's personality too. He could tell he's that popular guy in the locker room and on the team, and funny guy.
So we saw Liberty come out, have some success early on offense, but the drive stalled once they got inside the 40-yard line of the Kingsmen. Let's see what McBride and his team do here on their second offensive possession. Quickly the handoff up the middle to Antillon, picks up a good 6 to 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, and that's what the veer option does offensively. If you don't have the personnel maybe to match up man-to-man against a defense, it with the misdirection, it causes defenders to have to think instead of just playing all the time. So I think that's what Coach Mollum has done with this Liberty offense this year.
McBride will take the snap once again, this time not handed off to Antillon. Pitch it to the outside to Pittman, who's got the corner, but is taken down after he crosses the 35-yard line out to the 36, taken down by Calais Mitchell.
Yeah, Calais did a great job. He had a receiver stock blocking on him, and he got around the receiver and made the tackle. Now, if the receiver makes that block, and that's another thing about young receivers, they got to understand it's not just about running routes and catching the ball. You got to be a great blocker. The guys that get recruited onto the next level and from college make it to the NFL are the ones that can also block.
Mitchell was a second-team all-conference cornerback last season as the Kingsmen jump offside on the hard count on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and I'd say early on you're going to see him. I mean, that's big too on a 3rd and less than 1 to jump offside and give him a free first down, at least make him earn it. But I would say Putnam's played a pretty good game all around. But early on, if there was the one critique, it would be that they've had the 2-off encroachment calls on defense, and they got to do a better job. Those guys, your job is easy. Who cares what the quarterback's saying? Who cares what cadence it is? Who cares what language he's calling it in? All you got to do is move when the ball's moved.
So that will set up Liberty 1st down and 10 at their own 41-yard line after the offside penalty on the Kingsmen. McBride puts a man in motion. Fake the handoff. He'll take it right up the middle. Met once he crosses the line of scrimmage, picks up about 2 yards, but taken down by Todd Wiederhold on the play.
Yeah, Todd's a big kid, and he got off his block and did a great job of keying in on the quarterback and going and making a big hit. And, again, that's what we mentioned, that misdirection with Liberty's offense right there. It really freezes defenders, and you're able to pick up a good amount of yardage on that right there.
Wiederhold transferred from Sandy last year, and Rex Putnam played Sandy in Week 3. We're able to beat him 28-27. Sure, he enjoyed that as McBride drops to pass. Nothing there, though, tries to run, and he's taken down right at about the line of scrimmage.
The Fonz, baby.
By the Fonz.
That was it right there. And again, Liberty's faced in a situation, a 3rd and long, and it'll be interesting to see. They might come back to that slant. You know, they tried the sluggo earlier on. The DB didn't bite. The slant was there. So all they need to get is 7 yards. So if they could complete a slant, the receiver should pick up enough for a first down.
McBride barks out the signals and looks over to the sideline for the play call. Under 3.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Rex Putnam already leading 14-0. They'll throw the seam route. It's intercepted by Stevens, who makes the play, makes one man miss. He's across midfield down inside the 40, inside the 30, tiptoes down the sideline and eventually goes out of bounds at the 18-yard line, but we do have a flag down back near midfield.
Yeah, and it looks like the interception's going to count, but there was a legal block downfield on it, so the return is going to get negated a little bit. But, you know, when you have Deshaun Stevens, you have 6'3 plus free safety that's got almost a 40-inch vert with long arms and limbs back there. The last thing you want to try and do is throw a post over his head right there, and Deshaun did a great job. A free safety is taught to read the quarterback's eyes, and right there McBride did a poor job. He stared down his receiver, and Deshaun just moved with him. Ball was thrown to him, and Deshaun's a great receiver, so as a free safety, when the ball's right in your hands, that's an easy part of your job right there.
There's a very big opportunity here for the Kingsmen after the turnover, if it does stand, which it will, to really take a shot at that Liberty confidence here early. If they're able to put another touchdown on the board, make it a 3-score game, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
Yeah, they could open the floodgates right here. And this is what the great teams have to do. The great teams have to learn how, when you're beating a team, how to punch down on the gas and really put them away. You don't want to let an opponent hang around. Anything can happen in the fourth quarter. So I know Brad Lumen and his staff would very much like to get their starters out of this game in the third quarter and not deal with injuries.
Bailey will hand it off to Fleischman once again. And this time stuffed up right at about the line of scrimmage by a couple different Liberty Falcons after about a 1.5 yard gain on the play.
And they brought an extra guy down in the box, and that was a better job by that front of Liberty right there, and getting a stop. You got to stop them on first and second down, not give them such easy 8, 9, 10-yard chunk on run, and that was a good job right there of those Hogs up front.
2.5 minutes left and the clock running in the first quarter. Pitch goes to Stevens this time. You know, and a beautiful spin move there to get across midfield and into Liberty territory to the 49. He's one of those players that you watch, and it seems like he's going about 70%, but it's just because he's so fast.
Yeah, and the other thing is he's taller and he's long, so when he's taking big strides, it looks like they're not going as fast as maybe a 5'6" guy who looks like he's just Speedy Gonzalez. But with Deshaun right there, he's moving, and you saw that. And on top of that, you saw that spin move. So not only is he that big receiver, he's got speed and agility.
It's first down and 10 as Bailey will throw it out to the wide side of the field. Catch made there by Tyler Strauss. So Strauss has played a big part in this game so far. Recovered a fumble on the Kingsmen's first possession to move the ball down inside the 10-yard line. Makes the catch here for a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, and what happens is when you establish a run game like Putnam has, it starts opening up the field for a passing game, and then you start seeing man-to-man on the outside or big bubbles in zone coverage. So establishing a run game is so important, and early on that's what Putnam's done and Liberty hasn't.
So Bailey will take the snap from shotgun. He's got Fleischman to his right. He'll drop to throw, looking down the center of the field for Skiles, just off his fingertips inside the 30-yard line. Incomplete pass. It'll be third down and 6.
Yeah, and that was good coverage right there by Liberty. They didn't give up a big void in their zone. They're in that cover 2 shell again, and actually we're seeing them go to a 1 safety look. Now it looks like they're back to that 2 safety look, but that's what happens when you stop them on first down. It forces them to maybe pass second and third down, and now they're in a 3rd and 6, and defensively you're at the advantage when it's 3rd and +4.
Well, will Brad Lumen dial her up here? The swing pass out to the running back. Fleischman makes the catch, makes 2 men miss. He's down the sideline. It cuts back inside and taken down inside the 20-yard line. A beautiful run by Tyler Fleischman to set up the Kingsmen inside the Liberty red zone.
And that was the same play on their first possession on that 4th down. They threw that swing to him on the right sideline. Now they go to the left sideline. That was that cover 2 man again. So the receiver cleared out the DB and the safety, and that was Fleischman man-to-man on a linebacker, and he's going to win that matchup all night long.
So Fleischman will get the handoff here once again, break a tackle, and get down inside the 10-yard line. Fumbles the ball, though, and it looks like it's recovered by the Falcons.
And I think he might have had his knee down right there. I know Brad Lumen's trying to call for that, but Liberty with a huge break right there to stop him. I mean, Putnam's going in to score and put it at 3 possessions. They get the ball back, but now they got to be careful here because the ball's on the 1-yard line. Offensively, when you're on your 1-yard line, your playbook is minimized to about 10% of your calls. You can't go deep pass plays or play action because you risk getting a safety. You got to just punch the ball out. So for Putnam here defensively, they want to crowd the box, hit the A-gaps right here, and try and get a safety and get the ball back.
It was big number 77, John Horn, on the fumble recovery. So Liberty takes over. Minute 14 left in the first quarter, trailing 14-0 on their own 1-yard line.
And you see Putnam's crowding the box right here. They got no safety deep.
Handoff will go up the middle. Did they stop him in the end zone? No signal from the officials as of yet.
Looks like the ref saying he's on about the 1-inch line right there. And that was a great job of just diving forward and getting the ball out of the end zone right there. And I would look right now for Liberty to run that same thing and pull that dive and have the quarterback where he can either run or pitch to the tailback. If he would have pulled that, again, I don't know if that was predetermined or if the coaches had called that, but they might come back right to that and have him pull it.
Got some weapons on the outside, and they will look to throw right down the center of the field. And the catch nearly made, but the flag comes out late as Pittman is taken down. Slaps him in the helmet. And we'll have to see what the officials call here. It looked like it was a high and tight hit from the Kingsman defense.
Yeah, and that was an unnecessary hit, right? The ball was already incomplete over the receiver's head. I know he wanted the kill shot right there, and you know, that bordered on the line of just being a big-time hit or kind of being a personal foul. And I think that's where you got to be smarter. Knowing they're on the 1-inch line, they would have been in 3rd and long, just not a smart play. Now, conversely, the Liberty receiver hopped up. You got the flag called, and he ended up slapping the Putnam DB on the head, kind of letting him know, like, hey, dummy, we just got a first down right there. He should have been called on that penalty. The refs didn't see it. Very fortunate for Liberty that it wasn't that the personal fouls weren't negated right there.
Yeah, so the personal foul called for illegal helmet hit or contact to the head. So Liberty moved out of their own territory off their literally 1-inch line out to about the 15.5. First down.
And that'll drive Brad Lumen crazy right there. Again, this Putnam team is very talented, and they've got a shot this year of doing well in league, getting into the playoffs, and they could beat anybody that's put in front of them, but they can't do it when they're having stupid penalties like that, when they're having the encroachment calls, all that kind of stuff. They've got to really clean things up.
It's an interesting program as the sweep comes outside to Pittman. He's got a lot of room to run. Across the 35 to the 40 and taken down at the 43-yard line. The second big play of the night for the Falcons moves the ball out of deep in their own territory, and the Falcons have a chance.
And that's what we talk about, the danger of letting a team hover around. Instead of going in and putting it away almost in the first quarter and make it 21-0, they fumble, get a stupid penalty on that second down right there. Now all of a sudden Liberty's got some momentum. If they go score it, they put this at a one-possession game. So for Liberty, this is far from a finalized contest right here. They need to go try and score.
Handoff will go to Pittman going to the outside. Makes the first man miss. He's still behind the line of scrimmage. Brings it back across the 40 and picks up about 1.5 yards. A lot of running, Taylor, for a 1.5 yard gain.
Yeah, on that one, they came back to the same play, just went to the other side. Now the DB on the top side did a great job of keeping contained. And right there, that's where as a running back or receiver, when you're running east and west, you just need to get upfield and get north and south and just try and get yards. He did a good job of salvaging that and getting some positive yards there.
That will do it for the first quarter of action. It was all Kingsmen early, but the Liberty Falcons trying to put something together here, and they will take over at about their own 45-yard line when we start the second half of play. 1 quarter in the books. Kingsmen lead 14-0 here on PlayOn Sports.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
Back live once again at Folker Field here at Rex Putnam High School, a Northwest Oregon Conference showdown between the Rex Putnam Kingsmen and the Liberty Falcons. Rex Putnam coming into this matchup 2-3 overall. The Liberty Falcons 1-4 on the season. Records maybe not quite as indicative of how both teams have played to this point in the year, but it's been all Kingsmen here early.
Yeah, I mean the first quarter, that was a pure domination by Putnam. But the thing is, Liberty only down 2 touchdowns, got the ball driving. They can make this a game right here. So Putnam letting them linger around, and for Liberty now, they got to convert on this and go down and put points on the board.
It's a 2nd down and 8 for Mike McBride and the Falcon offense. He's got Antion behind him, who really hasn't seen much of the ball to this point in the game or hasn't done much. As the handoff will go to Pittman, and he takes the ball, breaks a tackle across midfield, down close to the first down after a gain of about 7.
Yeah, and that was a great play call right there, and that was a great block by Zane Chitwood right there, the 5'11", 225-pound sophomore, a young buck. But that was a great kick-out block right there. He sprung open the run, and Liberty puts themselves in a 3rd and 1 situation here.
The last time Liberty had a 3rd and 1, they were able to draw the Kingsmen offside. So we'll see what Malman and the Falcons draw up here, and this time in a false start on the Liberty offense. So Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yep, they give it right back, and now they go from 3rd and 1, where you're at the advantage, to 3rd and 6, where that's a defense at the advantage right there. 3rd and 6. In Liberty's offense, they still could be a threat to run, but offensively you're limited in your calls of what you're able to do here, and 3rd and 1 is a lot better position to be in. So for both teams, there's just been some unnecessary penalties early on, and I think at halftime both staffs are going to go in and try and clean that up and get these guys to play a more disciplined game.
Liberty's had trouble on 3rd down here this evening so far. We'll see what they dial up as McBride will be in that pistol formation with Antion behind him. They'll throw the pass out to Pittman, who makes the catch and really just stumbles over his own feet, loses a couple yards back down inside his own 45-yard line, and 4th down and long now for the Falcons.
Yeah, and that's something. If they come back to that, if they have a double pass right there, Putnam committed to that fake sweep, and they came up and to the pass right there. If Liberty runs that and has the outside receiver run like a stock block and go, he'd be tiptoeing in the end zone by himself for about 40 yards. So I don't know if that's in their arsenal, but if it is, that's definitely something that Coach Mullum's going to mark down and come back to.
Kevin Lave will punt it away. And down deep to receive is Deshaun Stevens, who picks up the ball at about his 25. Big block as Stevens brings it down the sideline, remains in play, and he's still in play. He's going to take it to the house. A 75-yard touchdown punt return from Deshaun Stevens. And the Kingsmen out 20-0 on the Falcons.
And that's what Deshaun Stevens brings to the table. And if you're watching this and you want to see what, on Saturdays when you watch these big-time college football players, tomorrow you'll see Oregon and Washington playing, or you'll see Oregon State, Washington State playing, Alabama, LSU. You see those kind of players. That's what they look like in high school right there, Deshaun Stevens. Like I said, Deshaun would have a ton of offers. Academically he's on the border, but that's what they look like, a guy that can pick up the ball and look like he's in fast forward when everyone else on the field is in slow motion.
Looked like everyone kind of quit on the play because it was such a weird-looking kick, and Stevens took it to the house the other direction. And now Geist out to attempt the extra point. She's 2 for 2 so far. This one up and through as well. So Annabella Geist 3 for 3 on the evening. And the Kingsmen out on top, 21-0. 10:16 left in the second quarter here on PlayOn Sports. The 6th touchdown on the year for Deshaun Stevens has put the Kingsmen out in front of Liberty 21-0 here at Folker Field at Rex Putnam High School. And it was impressive at that as he picked up the ball at his own 25-yard line and sprinted all the way down the near sideline to the house. So the Kingsmen will now kick off to the Falcons as Antion and this time Austin Mason are back deep to receive. It's a pleasure to have you along this evening. Fletcher Johnson and Taylor Barton here with you on PlayOn Sports as we bring you live Friday night football here in the state of Oregon.
Yeah, for Liberty right here, they need to answer, but they just need to go down, even if it's a field goal. They need to get points on the board, not only to make this a closer game, but to feel better about things this half and going into the second half.
Mason will take it. He'll hand it off on the reverse to Antion, who finds a hole and able to get it out past the 30 to about the 31-yard line. So Liberty will come out once again, and it's tough because you feel like they've shown some things offensively that have picked up some yardage, but they really once again haven't been able to put anything together, Taylor.
No, they got to convert. The game of football, it's not whoever won on the stat sheet wins the game. It's whoever has the most points on the board. So you could go down and march every drive for 80-plus yards. If you don't put points on the board, it does no good. So for Liberty, they've put the beginning of really good drives together. Now they just need to finish and capitalize and put points on the board. They're still in this ball game, but they need to get something going here, or else it's going to be a different story very quickly.
McBride has 3 receivers out to the left and 1 out to the right as he drops to throw. He'll look deep down the field. This one nearly intercepted, probably should have been, as Calais Mitchell was there, and it went right through his hands, almost fell right into the hands of his teammate Nick Parr, but the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, and McBride, only a junior. He's still a young quarterback, but again, he's got to learn. You can't stare down your receiver. I know the receiver, you're trying to see if he's open, but you got to learn to look guys off. If you wonder why Peyton Manning's so good, it's because he knows if I'm going to throw to my receiver to the right, I'm going to look to the left, pull the safety, and then come back to him, and McBride has to learn that.
2nd down and 10 for Liberty. This time, fake the handoff up the middle. Flag comes out, nearly hits McBride in the head. He pitches it out to Mason, who's pushed out of bounds as he gets across the 32 to the 33-yard line, but we'll see if this one will stand.
Yeah, McBride's looking at the ref saying, look, it's hard enough to move against the Putnam defense, let alone you guys throwing flags at my head while I'm trying to run.
So the penalty is holding against Liberty, so push it back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The foul actually occurred behind the line of scrimmage, so it will be close to 2nd down and 21 for this Liberty offense, and when things aren't going well for you offensively, you can't do that, Taylor.
No, it's hard enough to move the ball forward. When you're going backwards, it's just a killer. And they go from having a 3rd and about 7, which is somewhat reasonable, to being in 2nd and 20, and that's just not where you want to be, especially when you're down 21-0.
One back in the backfield behind McBride. He'll take the snap at about his own 14-yard line.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a screen here. The Putnam defensive ends are going to be pinning their ears back and coming. You might be able to slip a screen in behind them.
As McEwen will look down the field, and this one nearly intercepted once again by Mitchell. As I think, honestly, it was Nick Alexander, the Liberty receiver, who broke up the play.
Yeah, and Mitchell right there is looking at it, and they're going to be in film on Monday looking at him saying, man, do you just not like interceptions? I mean, that's 2 that have hit you in the breadbasket. And again, now 3rd and forever right here. I mean, for Liberty, no one in the stadium is going to be fooled if they go a veer option here. They know it's going to be a pass or a draw or a screen, so Putnam's going to be playing back.
And look at that Kingsman defense. Nobody with a hand on the ground as this one, and almost another interception for the Kingsman. Taylor Lewis this time breaks up the play.
Well, Liberty is in a comfort zone where they're able to be pounding the ball in the running game and then set up a play action, maybe on a 2nd and 3, a 3rd and 2. When they're in 3rd and 20, that's not what their offense is made of. And early on, when you're down like this and you put yourself in 2nd and 3rd and forever situations like that, that's where you're going to be throwing a lot of interceptions and giving up big plays. So interesting to see if they kick to Deshaun Stevens here on the punt.
Lave will once again kick it away to Stevens. This one a beautiful punt that goes across the 50-yard line, will be taken by Stevens on the run, though. And this time will reverse field. Cuts it up inside, makes one man miss. Still on his feet, and he breaks through. Down inside the 30-yard line, the punter to beat. Stiff arms the punter, dives for the pylon, and he's in. 2 punt returns, 2 touchdowns for Deshaun Stevens. And the Kingsmen out 27-0.
Well, said it'd be interesting to see if they punted to him, and they did. And unfortunately for Liberty, that's what you get when you end up kicking to Deshaun. I mean, he's just too talented. You know, again, it looks like he's in fast forward compared to everybody else on the field. And on top of that, he's the biggest guy on the field. I mean, shoot, he's towering over guys, and just very impressive athlete.
It's fun to watch someone who looks so smooth and so comfortable out there, as he made a couple different guys miss on his way to the end zone. Geist, extra point is up and through. And after back-to-back punt return touchdowns from Deshaun Stevens, it's Kingsmen 28, Liberty 0 here on PlayOn Sports. Back once again. 2 punt return touchdowns now for Deshaun Stevens. Has heighten the score to 28-0 in favor of Rex Putnam. And if you're Liberty, Taylor, I mean, it's tough. You got to just try to keep plodding through and find some way, like you've said earlier, to get some points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no such thing as a 28-point touchdown. All you can do is score a touchdown at a time. And I think last series they got out of their offense a little bit, started trying to pass and do some different things. I think they just need to stick with what they're good at, run that veer option, put a drive together. Don't worry about the clock. Just try and go down and get something on the board. Second and third and long, and throwing the ball is not what they're good at and what they want to be doing.
Braden Daniels' kick will be taken at the 11 by Pittman. Nobody but Rex Putnam defenders there, and he's taken down. Flag comes out, though, as he's taken down, so we'll have to see what the flag is for. But it's been all Kingsmen here so far here on PlayOn Sports over the Liberty Falcons, 28-0, and just seemingly playing at a different level here so far this evening.
Yeah, and you know, you're seeing the difference in these teams. There's more athletes, more speed on this Putnam roster than there is on Liberty. And for Liberty, that's what we didn't know early on, if that offense, the veer option, would be able to counter some of that and keep them in the game. The danger with Liberty's offense is if they get down, they're in trouble. That type of offense is not a quick strike offense. You know, you play someone like Putnam, who has Deshaun, some other good athletes on the edge, they can score 2-3 touchdowns in the air quick and get back in a game. Liberty, when they get down, they're in trouble. When they get up, they're frustrating because they just hold on to the ball and pound it away. So that's why I said I think it's important. Last year, as they got away from what they do well, they need to just get back to that. Not worry about the score right now. Just worry about trying to get points on the board. So
after the blow to the head personal foul on Rex Putnam, Liberty takes over at their own 36. Handoff goes up the middle to Antion. He's got a lot of room to work with. Out across midfield and down to the 40-yard line of Rex Putnam. So second time we've seen that play work tonight, Taylor.
Yeah, and actually that's a 20-yard gain. That's like a big pass play. So when we talk about them in their bread and butter, that's what it is right there. Their big strikes come on plays like that. You know, you can get big pass plays, but that's as good as a big pass play, 20-plus yards right there. So I think they need to just stick with that and just keep pounding it out.
Juan Ocampo, one of the men who helped push Todd Wiederhold out of the way on that defensive line, as McBride will take it, keep it, break an arm tackle, and get down inside the 35-yard line and be taken down close to the 33 by the aforementioned Wiederhold.
Yeah, I love this play call right here in this series. They're just coming back out, sticking to their guns. The linemen up front are doing a great job. Liberty's linemen, they're not huge up front, but they move around really well. That misdirection can help them in the scheme of things, but on those two big runs, they've opened up some holes for their guys running the ball.
Javier Picard, the center, did a good job on those last couple plays as well, as McBride will look over the sideline for the play after lining up.
And you see, this is what a lot of teams do now. They line up, the defense has to show their hand, and then they look to the sideline, and the offense gives a play call.
Handoff goes up the middle to Antion, and he's close to that first down line. It looks like he's going to be about a half a yard short, though, and set up 3rd down and 1.
And going back to that point, when Oregon Ducks playing, you see them holding that sign, and they've got pictures of Lee Corso up and a lion and a zebra and all these different things. What they do is they line up. The defense has to show what front they're in, what coverage, if they're going to blitz or not. Then the offense looks over to their coach, and the coach from the press box will be calling down saying, okay, here's what we can get, here's what they're showing, and that's what you see Liberty doing right now. So they're looking over, they're getting the play call from the coach and seeing what's vulnerable defensively. And here they go again. So they lined up, Putnam had to show what they're going to do. Liberty adjusts to it.
See those two big guys for Rex Putnam over the A-gap. They'll run this one to the outside. Antion trying to get there. He's unable to. Nice work there by the Kingsmen to stretch him out and eventually take him down. He's taken down after about a 5-yard loss on the play.
And that play, Eli Skiles right there, number 2, the DB for Putnam, did a great job of keeping contained. So many times the outside guy, you've got 10 guys inside of you coming with pursuit. But a lot of times young kids will try and go for that tackle, make the big play, and they lose leverage and let the running back get outside. He did a great job right there. Skiles did a keep and contain.
4th down and 6 for Liberty. Under 7 minutes left to go before halftime, trailing 28-0.
Yeah, and it looks like Putnam's still in a man-to-man, which they should be giving up a slant here.
And there it is, like you say, and it's not caught. Late hit, though, but no flag comes out, as that should have been a catch by the receiver, number 80, Vera Kang. And it will be a turnover on downs, and the Kingsmen will once again take over at their own 36-yard line.
Yeah, and again for McBride right there, that was a great pass. I mean, all you can do is throw it to the receiver right there for him to catch it. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert. And now we talk about Putnam right here. Going down, championship teams, if they want to be a successful team down the road in the playoffs, you got to learn to put teams away. And this is an opportunity where they can go do that.
2 of their losses this year, as they are 2-3, came in the first 2 weeks of the season when Deshaun Stevens and 3 other senior leaders were not a part of the team due to some eligibility issues, as Fleischman takes the snap and is taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I know Brad Lumen, he was very excited to get these guys back. He's been playing with not a full roster in terms of guys being out with suspension, guys being out with injury. Now, a football team, you know throughout the course of a season you're going to have injuries, but to add suspensions on top of that, you're really limited. So he was excited to get these guys back.
As Bailey will drop the throw, drop it off to Fleischman, who makes the catch and gets a block and out past the 45-yard line and taken down near the 46. Flag comes in from the back official, and it looks like he'll be making that call. Looked like it could have been a block in the back there.
And I think what happened was, as Fleischman caught that, his receiver was coming back saying, with the angle you're running, this DB is going to have to tilt his head and I can get a kill shot right there. One of the shots that blocks where everyone in the crowd goes, ooh. And what happened, though, was Fleischman stutter-stepped, which now killed the timing of the receiver coming back to get that kill shot. So he ended up blocking the guy in the back instead of just cracking him right in the chest. So negates a big first down right there, puts him in a second and long.
One of the other interesting stories, as I was saying, was that Rex Putnam started off the year with Nick Cropley at quarterback. Threw 4 interceptions in the first game. He transferred from Union in Washington last year, and after that first game, re-enrolled back at Union.
Yeah, and
as Bailey throws this one out, catch not made by Fleischman. It looked like he had some room to work with on the inside screen, but you really get the sense that Rex Putnam really starting to get into a rhythm here, as even though we're in the 6th game of the season.
Yeah, Max Bailey is their guy, and Cropley starting. Cropley going back to Union. Nolan Henry's the starter up there, only a sophomore. He's cousins with Kellen Clemens, who had started at Oregon as a quarterback for 3 years and has been in the NFL for 7. He's with the Rams now, so not necessarily a great place to go transfer and be behind. But Max Bailey's a guy here. When they have the full deck, this Putnam team, like I said, literally they can beat anybody. So this is a team that, despite their record, I don't think many opponents want to face down the road.
And last week, Bailey threw for 252 yards and 5 touchdowns in a win over Park Rose, and he will look down the field this time. This one intercepted, though, by Liberty. A big play for them as Byron Greenlee is able to make the interception, and a big change in momentum. The Liberty Falcons hope it is.
Yeah, and Byron Greenlee, also a very talented quarterback, only a sophomore. He's a good-sized kid, 6'2", 190. Did a great job back there being the center fielder, going with the quarterback's eyes. But that right there, Max Bailey, he's got to be more disciplined than that. He had a running back that was a check down right in front of him that he could have thrown to. Guy maybe gets 10, 12 yards, and now you're in a 3rd and 8. He tried to go for the big home run. That's an unnecessary turnover, and I know Brad Lumen was in his ear as he was coming off the sideline. Nothing worse than being a quarterback after you throw an interception and you've got to trot off the field and you're looking over at your coach who's just got steam coming out of his ears. You just walk by him and you say, hey, I know, I'll fix it. I don't need to hear it.
Sound like you may have been through that before at some point in your life or something.
Unfortunately, too many times. That's what ended my career. If I wouldn't have thrown so many of those, I might have had a chance to still be playing.
So 5.5 minutes left. The Falcons take over at about their 43-yard line. Haven't really been able to get much done here in the first half, trailing 28-0, but trying to get some momentum before halftime. And this is a point against Sherwood last week where they were able to get a touchdown on the board and at least give themselves some momentum going into halftime as McBride picks up close to 10 and maybe a first down.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to get a first down. And this is the theme of the night is they come out on first down, get a big gain, get a first down, maybe a couple plays later get another first down, and then all of a sudden have a turnover or just don't move the ball. So they've got to learn to finish drives off and go down and get points on the board.
McBride will look over to the side, and another opportunity for for Putnam to show how good of a team they are. The quick change of possession, how well did they do coming out on short notice to defend this Falcon offense? Handoff will go up the middle to Antion. They did a good job there as Wiederhold and also the Fonz in on the tackle.
The Fonz coming in there and making a big hit, and you're right. Defensively, that's the other tough thing. When a quarterback throws an interception or the offense fumbles, you're sitting there thinking it's first down, we've got a couple plays, and then we can punt, and now you got to rush out onto the field. So it's a quick change right there in momentum, and that's what the great defenses can do, is come out there despite the odds and go stop it. And Putnam on that first down right there did that.
2nd down and 10. Swing it out to Antion, who is unable to make the catch, pass a little bit behind him, but Taylor hits you in the hands. You got to make the play.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, McBride has actually thrown good balls tonight, put it in his guys' hands, and they're just not catching the ball. And that's why stats can be so deceiving. Sometimes a quarterback might be 3 for 12 with 2 interceptions, and the 2 interceptions were deflections, and there were 5 or 6 drops. So stat lines don't always tell the truth. McBride throwing the ball better than his stats are showing tonight.
And really interesting, with the exception of week 3, Liberty has really struggled to throw the ball as McBride will look deep down the field for his receiver, and interception made by Nick Parr. Beautiful over-the-head catch. He looked like the wide receiver there, and Rex Putnam takes over at their 18-yard line.
And that was a sluggo again, a slant and go. But on 3rd and 10, the DBs just don't have to respect that slant. If they complete a slant, you tackle them, and they get 7 yards, it's 4th and 3, and they have to punt. So I like the sluggo call. Just not on that down and distance. But the other thing is that's not on the coach, because as a quarterback, if you drop back and you pump that sluggo and it's not there and the DB is ahead of your receiver, now you got to throw it to a check down or tuck it and run and live to fight another day. As a quarterback, you just can't force it. We've seen back-to-back possessions now, Putnam and Liberty, the quarterbacks making undisciplined decisions right there.
4:21 left as Rex Putnam takes over on their own 18. Pitch it out to Skiles. He's got some room to work. Cuts it back up, north and south, gets it out past the 25 to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and for Putnam right here, I think it's crucial for them, not necessarily to win the game, but I think to establish that presence on their team and in the locker room, that they go score here and try and get up 35-0 at halftime.
This time Bailey will pitch it to the right to Skiles. He's got some room to work with, gets the corner, and eventually pushed out of bounds across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
And that's one of those old things, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They ran a toss to the left on first down, got a big gain of first down. They came right back with the same play to the right. Coaches are very habitual creatures. If they run something and it works, I guarantee you they're going to come back and keep doing it. And that's why defensively, you got to know if you give up a big play on a run like that, they're going to keep coming back. You got to make adjustments.
And here comes the toss back to the left. Skiles with it, puts his foot in the ground, goes up the center of the field, breaks a tackle. He's got it down inside the 40. One man to beat, and they're not going to catch him. 20-15 touchdown, Rex Putnam. Eli Skiles goes 65 yards, and Rex Putnam puts another one on the board, 34-0 over Liberty.
That was a great cutback right there. On that toss, it looked like he was bunched up and contained. There were 2 guys outside of him, had great vision to cut back inside. Unfortunately for the defense, they over-pursued, and they had about 8 guys that rushed outside the hash on the near side. Skiles did a great job of cutting back, and then it was just a foot race into the end zone against Byron Greenlee, and Skiles is going to win that matchup all night.
So after the 65-yard touchdown, Annabella Geist will come out to attempt the extra point. It's up, and it is through once again. So Rex Putnam, all Kingsmen tonight, 35-0. They have the lead. 3:48 left before halftime here on PlayOn Sports.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
So we've seen Deshaun Stevens make some moves, 2 punt returns. We see Eli Skiles take it to the house there, and I think, Taylor, one of the things that impresses me the most is Rex Putnam has the lead 35-0 here, 3:48 before halftime, is the ability for some of these guys to put their foot in the ground and go north and south. It's something that coaches always try and teach their players, but some guys just have that instinctual mindset to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a result, he goes and gets a 60-plus yard touchdown. And for young kids or for parents of a young kid watching this right now, that's something to really stress your kids is, look, don't dance around so much. It's not a video game where you can just keep hitting the X button or triangle button and spinning and stiff-arming guys. Just get north-south. That's what the best running backs do. The best receivers, after they catch the ball, they don't dance around. They just get upfield, and right there Skiles did that, and he's happy he did.
Daniels will kick it off, and it will be taken by Pittman at about the 20 on the run. Gets through the first batch of defenders, taken down as he gets across the 35 to the 36. And
it's kind of a double-edged sword here for Liberty. They've had really good run backs on kickoffs tonight, so you got to be happy about that. The downside to that is that when you're continuously having kickoff returns, that means you're continuously giving up touchdowns. So I'm not sure the special teams coach is probably happy because, you know, his guys are getting good returns on the kickoffs. The offensive coaches and defensive coaches aren't too happy that they're giving up so many points.
Both teams still with 3 timeouts here in the first half, as it will be 3 receivers out to the left and 1 to the right for the Falcons. McBride will take the snap, hand it off to Mason, who is taken down after no gain on the play.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if Putnam, what they want to do, if they want to start taking timeouts here. If you have 3 timeouts, do you want to maybe see on second down, if you stop them here, maybe you take a timeout. If you give up a big gain, you hold them, but you can get the ball back and work on some 2-minute drill. Obviously, Putnam's going to win this game, but there's still things they want to work on, especially getting all these guys back from suspension. You know, a lot of these guys, this is like their first game of the year here.
So this time, McBride will keep it. And taken down. Great defensive play there by the defensive tackle, Jeff DeAuvern. The 6', 245-pound sophomore seeing some action here in the first half. Makes a big play and sets up 3rd down and 11 for the Falcons.
And that's where we talk about that predetermination by the quarterback right there. McBride predetermined that he had gotten a big run on a keeper before, and so I think he predetermined that if he pitched that would have been a big gain.
2:35 and the clock running in the first half. McBride will drop to throw. Throw that screen route that slant route this time caught by his receiver Nick Alexander, and a pickup of 7 yards. And if nothing else, it may not be a first down, but at least it's a catch for the Falcons offense.
Yeah, and I doubt they're going to punt here. In a normal game, you'd punt right here, but I think for Liberty, they know they're going to lose, and they're saying, hey, you know what, let's go for this. I mean, they're for the rest of the night, they're in 4-down territory right here. So they're going to go. Putnam, if they can stop them, they have enough time to go score again before halftime.
Try and get some sort of momentum, the Falcons are here before the break, as it's 4th down and 3.
And it looks like Putnam's blitzing up the middle. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bubble screen here or an option left.
And it looks like one of the linebackers there jumped off sides, Nick Edwards, the guilty party. So from 4th down to 1st down likely here for the Liberty offense.
And again, Putnam, I mean, not many things. When you're up 35-0 at halftime, not much to complain about. But I think for Brad Lumen, that's going to be something that he's going to say, hey, guys, you know what? That's 2 first downs we've given up just jumping off sides in the first half. 3 encroachment penalties. We had the late hit that was a stupid penalty when we could have had him down on the 1-inch line. Against better teams and against teams in the playoffs, you can't get away with that and do that stuff and win.
McBride fumbles the snap, and he will be taken down behind the line by Todd Wiederhold, and also DeAuvern, who's in on another play for the Kingsmen.
That's one of the hardest things about shotgun is not only the center giving a bad snap, but the quarterback. When the ball is coming, your eyes are upfield. In a pass play, you're reading coverage, or on a run play, you're looking at your running back or the fly sweep come in, and you still got to catch the ball and handle it at the same time. So one of the dangers of going in shotgun is a quarterback bobbling it like that, and you saw that on that play right there.
2nd down and 13 for Liberty. Just over a minute left in the first half. McBride drops the throw, throws the out route, and is nearly able to connect with receiver Jacob Batke, but just out of his outstretched arms, and the pass will fall incomplete. Third down now for the Falcons.
Tell you what, that was a corner route right there, and that was actually a good ball. And Jacob Atke has to do a better job of when he turns his head and looks back. If you're running a corner, you want it over your shoulder, but if the quarterback throws it flat outside like an out, you got to come back downhill to that ball, and he didn't adjust to that. So, you know, to a lot of people, the naked eye, it looks like that was a bad pass by the quarterback, but he gave him a chance. Backey has to adjust to that better.
McBride drops a throw on 3rd and 13. They'll set up the screen, and beautifully read by big number 77, Brandon McCune.
Yeah, that was. McCune did a great job. If he doesn't read that and make that play, that's another big gain right there for Liberty. And now in this 4th down, going to be interesting to see if they punt because, I mean, punting, well, first off, if they punt and if they do, if they end up deciding to kick to Deshaun Stevens, he's already returned 2 back this half. You might as well just give him at least 40 yards if you're going to kick to him. So I'm surprised they're not just going for this right here.
Kevin Lave will come out to punt for Liberty. 2 punts on the evening. Both of them have been okay punts, but they've been returned to the house by Deshaun Stevens. This one will be angled away from him, but will remain in play, so Stevens will have an opportunity. Well angled to the sideline, gets through the first line of defense, though, makes a man miss. And here we go down the sideline, cuts back into the middle of the field. They're not going to catch him. 3 touchdowns for Deshaun Stevens, and the Rex Putnam Kingsmen have really made it a blowout here in the first half. They lead 41-0 with 38 seconds left before halftime.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, wow is right. I mean, there's not much you can say to that. That's just one of those things for us as announcers. We just shut up and just let the footage do the talking. And for people watching at home, I mean, that says it all right there. When a kid is that talented, I mean, he has such great vision. It's like a chess player, a great chess player who's 4 moves ahead of you. You know, I'm an idiot, so when I play chess, I'm just thinking about the next move. And playing great players, they're 4 moves ahead. They already know they're going to beat me in 4 moves from now based off of what I'm doing. And that's what Deshaun is. He has that vision to do that, plus the size and speed. I mean, that's what a big-time D1 guy looks like.
The extra point up and through from Annabella Geist. So with 38 seconds left before the half, Rex Putnam has really blown things open as they take the 42-0 lead. We'll keep it here. And really, as we watch Deshaun Stevens right now, looks like he's a bit sick over the trash can. Not showing it on the field, though. And, you know, it's funny because sometimes those days that you're not feeling good, those are your best days.
I'll tell you what, not many times are you throwing up and feeling very good, but that's one of those times, those rare occasions in life with Deshaun right there. He's never felt better about throwing up in his life than he is right now.
Run so fast his stomach's just trying to catch up with him.
That's right. I mean, it's crazy. We're going to have to get him an oxygen tank and get an IV in him at halftime right there just based off of punt returns. I mean, I think he has more I'm pretty sure he has more yardage on punt returns in the first half than Liberty's offense has total.
And that one was another big one. He's taking him back to the house from 75 and 40 or 55. And then that one was a nice long one as well in the 60-yard range as once again Braden Daniels will kick off. Pittman will take at the 11. He'll fumble it away, able to pick it back up. No, not yet. And the ball's still loose. And it looks like Pittman was able to get back on top of it. Yes, he is, but Liberty will have their worst starting field position at their own 6-yard line, but just 31 seconds left before the half.
Yeah, and for Liberty, they got to be careful right here on the, 5 or 6 yard line here not to get a safety. You know, they just got to try and get a positive run, just move forward, go into halftime, try and make some adjustments, regroup, figure things out. Right now, they're just, you know, it's the fog of war. I mean, I think they're going to see Deshaun Stevens in their nightmare tonight.
What is the message for Eric Malum to his team at halftime?
I think he's got to go in there. I think at this point a coach has to be realistic. He has to go in there and not say, hey, guys, you know, we can come back and have the greatest comeback victory of all time. I think he's got to go in and say, hey, guys, let's just go out and let's just do what we do and try and put together a good second half. Let's win the second half. Let's get some good reps, get good experience, you know, play hard. I think that's got to be the message. I don't think he's got to do a rah-rah speech, anything like that. The kids would roll their eyes. He'd lose the kids' respect if he did that. I think he's just got to go in there and say, hey, let's come out in the second half. Let's act like it's 0-0. Let's win the second half. Let's play hard.
Antillon takes the handoff for a gain of about 4 yards, and that will likely do it, and it will do it for the first half here at Folker Field at Rex Putnam High School. It's been all Kingsmen in the first half. They lead it 42-0 at the break. We'll be back with the second half of action about 15 minutes from now here on PlayOn Sports.
Those were our royal crowns. Now we would like to introduce
can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the PlayOn School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And welcome back for the second half of action at Fulker Field at Rex Putnam High School in Oak Grove, Oregon, just outside of Portland. It's been all Rex Putnam thus far this evening, 42-0 as we get set for the second half of action. Fletcher Johnson, Taylor Barton back with you. And really, Taylor, it's an interesting situation here, as most know who follow Oregon high school football. Once we reach 45 points, it's a running clock if one team has a 45-point lead. So that's something to keep an eye on here as we progress into the third quarter. But 3 touchdowns from Deshaun Stevens, 2 from Eli Skiles, 1 from Tucker Fleischman, and the Kingsmen really having no issues putting things up on the board tonight.
No, that was as dominating of a first half as they could have. Offensively, defensively, special teams, obviously. Again, the one thing I think Brad Lumen was stressing to them was the discipline of things. You know, just not the stupid personal foul penalties, the offsides, those kind of things. And they're going to try and clean that up. And for both teams here, really interesting how different those locker rooms are. I think for Liberty, mentioned it before the end of the half, Coach Mollum just has to go in there and say, hey guys, let's come out. It's 0-0 second half. Let's come and play our brand of football and forget about the first half. For Putnam, kind of the same thing, that, hey guys, you know what? Forget the first half. Come out here. Let's say it's 0-0. For the starters, hey, come out, do your thing, and let's get you guys out early in this third quarter. They got to start thinking long-term now. You don't want to have injuries. But because they have guys coming back off suspension, they still want to get these guys quality reps and playing time. You know, you can think you're in shape, but there's nothing quite like being in game shape. And for some of these guys coming off suspension or injury, this is like the preseason for them. So I still think there's a lot of gelling that needs to be done for this Putnam team for them to have success down the road. So, and you don't want to get guys injured when you're up in a game by 50 points. So I think they want to get a couple of touchdowns on the board early and then get their starters out.
Daniels will kick it off down to Pittman. This time it will go out of play, though. So the kickoff out of bounds. It'll come up, and Liberty will once again start off with good field position. Mike McBride, not the first half he wanted, but Taylor, as you mentioned, in the first half, he threw some good balls. His receivers weren't helping him out.
Yeah, as a quarterback, all you can do is make the right read and throw a good pass, and he did that a bunch in the first half. His guys just didn't come down with it. And as a quarterback, that's where you have to be the leader, and I know he's only a junior, but he has to go back to his receiver who dropped it and say, hey, I'm coming right back to you. No problem. You know, keep your head up. You can't start doing Jay Cutler stuff and chest bumping your linemen for not getting blocks and that kind of stuff, because no one likes that in a quarterback. He's got to be the leader and keep this team together.
So let's see what Liberty does on their first offensive possession of the second half. As Pittman goes in motion, handoff will go up the middle to Antion and right into the teeth of that Rex Putnam defense, and they do not budge once again, led by the transfer from Sandy, Todd Wiederhold, among others.
Yeah, it's 6'4", 290 pounds. That's a half grizzly bear coming down on you right there. Sandy sad to see him leave. Obviously, Putnam happy to see him arrive, and right there he just smothered the ball carrier.
No gain, actually a loss of 1 on the play for the Falcons, and this time McBride drops to throw. Out in the flat for Mason, over his head though, and falls incomplete. So once again, after 2 quick plays, Liberty third and long once again, a situation they found themselves a lot in the first half, and it never really turned out well.
No, it's just not what their offense was designed for. They're designed to pound the ball at you and set up play action with success in the running game. 3rd and 11, everyone in the stadium knows what they got to do right here, and that's where they had turnovers in the first half, was as a result of that.
Alexander and Pittman out to the right as McBride will throw it to Mason, makes the catch, but only back close to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a half yard more. So the Kingsmen defense stands up right away on Liberty's first offensive possession, and here comes that man back out to return the punt. Deshaun Stevens had 3 in the first half, lengths of 75, 55, and 68 yards, and really made the defenders look silly in doing so.
Yeah, you know, we saw Thomas Tyner from Aloha earlier in the year set a state record with touchdown runs and yardage. So why not tonight see Deshaun Stevens step one with punt return yards and touchdowns?
And this time, Lave decides to put this one out of bounds. So the Kingsmen may take over at their own 43, but if you're Liberty, that's a lot better than 7 more points on the board for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, and for Putnam, mention this. This is where Max Bailey, you're the senior leader. You're back now. You had to miss, you know, a couple games, and this is where we talk about it. Championship teams learn to put an opponent away. Don't play around. They've won the game, but now you don't want to be out there on the field and get guys injured. That's going to hurt you down the road. So they want to go down and just put this ball in the end zone, get your starters out.
Bailey will take the snap, pitch it back to Stevens, running to the right. And it looks like he might be able to get the corner, eventually pushed out of bounds as Antion was over there. Gain of about 6 yards on the play on first down, set up a 2nd down and 4 for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, and that's what you mentioned. The thing about Deshaun, sometimes it doesn't look like he's running really hard or really fast, but he has such great vision. He's setting things up, and at the same time, he's moving. It doesn't look like he is, but he's moving forward at all times.
Pitch left this time, and Stevens makes a move to the outside. He turns on the Jets. Down the sideline, he's gone. Deshaun Stevens, 4th touchdown on the night, and the Kingsmen out further in front.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about. He does such a great job of kind of setting his blocks up right there. Doesn't look like he's running. And then once he turns on the afterburners, he's just gone, and there's nobody that has a chance of catching him right there. And we've seen when you have size like that, with speed like that, and vision like that, I mean, all those things put together is how you return 3 punts for a touchdown and then get a big run for a touchdown in one night in essentially one half.
Geist's extra point. Female kicker has been outstanding tonight and all season long for this Rex Putnam team. She puts it up and through, and it's 49-0 in favor of Rex Putnam with 10:26 left in the 3rd quarter. And really, you talked about it in the first half, Taylor, but it's just amazing to watch Deshaun Stevens run, and you see what college scouts, whether they be at the D1 level or even lower levels, are drooling over, is this kid just makes it look so easy every time he touches the ball, whether it's a 6-yard gain or he takes it 80 yards to the house.
Yeah, it just, that's what a big-time Division I guy looks like, all of those things put together. And like I said, I have personally talked to over a dozen major Division I schools that said, hey, if his grades were up to par, we'd offer him right now. You know, Deshaun has worked really hard. Brad Lumen, what he's done at this program, not only on the field but off the field, Brad cares about these kids. And he helped Deshaun get a tutor. He helped, you know, get all these things put in place for Deshaun to get his grades up. He did summer school, got his grades up. He's working this fall to try and get him up. And if he can, he's got a $100,000+ scholarship offer sitting on the table.
This time, the kickoff taken inside the 10 by Antion. He gets past the first line of defenders, second line still on his feet, out past the 35-yard line to the 37-yard line goes Antion. So a nice return there once again on the kickoff. We'll see if Liberty's offense can do anything with it, though. They come out for their second offensive possession of the second half. We're able to really not pick up any yardage on that first offensive possession, and really an opportunity here for Liberty to work on their offense and try and figure out something to get them going to really just take some momentum into the next game, and maybe a chance to get some younger guys some playing time, as well as there was a flag down on the play inside the 10-yard line. So the big kickoff return negated, and Liberty will start back inside their own 10-yard line at the 5.
Yeah, and just not Liberty's night. When it rains, it pours right here, and you get a great return, and then it gets brought back like that. The one thing we've said, I mean, if there's a bright spot tonight for Liberty, it's those kickoff returns. You know, you don't want to have your kickoff return unit on the field very often. That means you're giving up a lot of points, but that has been the one bright spot for them tonight.
First down and 10 at the 5-yard line. 10:17 left in the third quarter. Liberty trailing 49-0. Handoff goes up the middle and nowhere. As once again, Wiederhold along with Nick Edwards in on the tackle. So the center of that Kingsman defensive line standing strong throughout the course this evening, with the exception of a couple long run plays for Liberty. And it will be 2nd down and 10 at the 5-yard line with Liberty lined up and ready to go. Man in motion, it is Mason. Drop to throw, catch made across the middle. Nice catch there.
Yeah, and that was a phenomenal throw right there. They faked the zone run right there through that slant. That's been there tonight, and he's thrown good balls in the first half. Guys just didn't come up with it. That time, receiver went out, and we talked about it, not letting it come into their body. He went out, got that in his hands, got a great catch, and they put themselves in 3rd and 1 and a great chance to get a first down here. And that's
flag comes out once again. Hard count, got him.
3rd time tonight that Putnam's defensive line has jumped offside and as a result given up a first down, just giving it up. You got to make an opponent earn that. And again, they've won this game tonight. That's not in question. The problem is down the road. These are becoming a trend right now. And when you play a great team in the rest of this conference or in playoffs, you can't do that. That could be the difference in a game right there, jumping offside, giving them a converted first down on 3rd and 1.
In a game like this, when you have a big lead, as Pittman takes the handoff and is taken down behind the line of scrimmage, how hard is it to get these youngsters to remain focused when they have such a big lead?
Yeah, it's really, really hard. I mean, you're talking about dealing with 15, 16, 17, maybe some 18-year-old kids. I mean, it's hard enough to get them to concentrate on anything for more than half an hour. So when they're playing a game, they're fired up. But once they get a lead, they start looking into the crowd, thinking about where they're going to go eat tonight, what they're going to go do. And that's when injuries can happen. That's, I think, for coaches, I think Coach Lumen is down there fearing that he has a player get injured that is going to have to, miss parts of the rest of the season. So for right now, Brad wants to get a stop, probably get another scoring drive, and then get his backups in there. Now, the difference is college, you have the depth to put all backups in. In high school, you don't have the personnel to put all backups in, but you can at least get guys like Deshaun and Max and some of your top guys out.
Sheldon Pittman was the player down on the field as the pass goes out to the near side for Antillon. He's unable to make the catch there. On the coverage was Calais Mitchell, the second-team all-conference cornerback last year, to help break up that play, and it's 3rd down and 13 for the Falcons as we are under 8.5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and some scores around the state. Sheldon, #1 team in the state, up 35-0 at halftime. Jesuit with a big lead over Westview at halftime.
As McBride will look to throw, and Wiederhold is there to take him down behind the line of scrimmage. So a big sack on the play for the Kingsmen, and it will be 4th down and very, very long, forcing Liberty to punt.
Yeah, he's had a great night, offensively and defensively. A big kid that can move very well. I think that's a kid that is going to definitely spark up some interest from colleges. Maybe not the major D1s, but D2, D3, and AI schools. Another score to mention tonight, Wilsonville-Milwaukie was a very close game. It's 27-6 now, Wilsonville with the lead in the 3rd quarter. Stretching
things out, Rex Putnam will next play the Milwaukee Mustangs. As Lave will punt it away, he's going to give Deshaun Stevens an opportunity to return this one. Stevens muffs it, though, and it's picked up by Liberty. Austin Mason down there on the coverage is able to pick up the Stevens fumble. So 3 touchdowns on punt returns for Stevens, but he muffs that one away, and Liberty takes over.
And that's why I'd probably just bench him. I wouldn't ever play him. I just don't think the kid's very good. I mean, when you everyone at home was hearing me say that going, is this guy on crack or what? No, I think for Deshaun, that's one of the hard things that you just mentioned, keeping these kids' concentration. Deshaun is a great kid, but, after that big touchdown run, it's just hard to keep their concentration when they're up 49-0, and that's one of those ones he'd like to have back because he could have had another big return.
Looked like he had a lot of room to work, and I think he probably saw that too, and part of the reason he fumbled it away.
Yeah, I think his eyes lit up, and he was thinking 4 punt return touchdowns on a night, and unfortunately bounces off, and for Liberty. They get a chance to go down and try and get their first points on the board here tonight.
No gain on first down for the Falcons. And really, especially with this type of offense, Taylor, if you're going to run the ball and try and run the ball to win games and stay in games, you have to pick up yards on first down.
Yeah, you do. It's one of the most underrated stats there is in football.
As McBride will hand it off up the middle, and once again going nowhere, and Wiederhold in on the tackle.
I said this a couple weeks ago. I'd really like to see someone do a stat check and see something to do with people on first down. You know, someone that averaged, 5 or more yards on first down, what their record ended up being. You know, someone that, averaged 2 or less yards, what their record. I bet you it would be a significant difference in teams' win-loss records just based off of that stat right there.
Especially at the high school level, given that the talent, is not like college. And the pass there from McBride is low. Couldn't tell if it was quite tipped over the middle. There were a couple Putnam defenders there, but Antion was open behind the defense. If he hits him, it's probably 6, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that was just blown coverage right there. A lot of times that happens, with guys in the secondary. One guy might think it's a cover 3 zone. One guy might think it's man-to-man, and that's what you saw. Now we see this punt formation right here, and we'll see if Deshaun can get his 4th punt return touchdown of the night.
Focus on catching the ball as we're under 5 minutes to go. Snap goes over Lave's head. He's able to pick it up, and he will run and try and get it away, and he's unable to. Does roll off his foot, but a wackiness there on the special teams play, and Rex Putnam will take over at the Liberty 24-yard line.
Yeah, and again, we talked about having negative situations become a positive, and for Liberty that might have been the best thing that happened to him right there, because if you end up punting to Deshaun, you end up with giving them better field position than Deshaun returning a punt and scoring right there. So
so here we go. Rex Putnam already leading 49-0, clock running, under 4.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter, and Max Bailey out once again. The senior quarterback, who really has not had to do much tonight, is all the work done by the Kingsmen on the ground, as the handoff will once again go to Skiles going to the left. He's got a blocker out front, a lot of room to work with, cuts inside down to the 5, dives for the end zone, touchdown, Rex Putnam, 1 play, 24 yards, 6 points.
Yeah, and Skiles has been very impressive tonight. I'll tell you what, he's had some great runs, made some great plays. Mentioned it earlier, this Putnam squad has talent. I mean, there's guys making plays all over the field. It's not just Deshaun. Deshaun obviously is highlighted, but there's a lot of good players on this roster. And again, anytime you got a big run for a touchdown or big yardage or pass, it means the line is giving great protection or doing great job blocking downfield. And all night they have dominated in the trenches.
Geis extra point, and she remains perfect on the evening as well. 8 for 8 now, I should say. And Rex Putnam 56-0 on top of Liberty. Back after this here on PlayOn Sports.
Again, 3-4 minutes left for that 50-50.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the PlayOn School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And back at Volker Field at Rex Putnam High School, 56-0 in favor of Rex Putnam. The 24-yard touchdown run from Eli Skiles extends the lead out even further for the Kingsmen. And once again, Braden Daniels back to kickoff. And really the one bright spot, as we've mentioned all night, for Liberty, kickoff returns. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, and here you go for Wilsonville. This has been the one bright spot of the night, or Liberty, I'm sorry, one bright spot of the night right here. And we'll see what they get going.
Kickoff will go down to Austin Mason, who muffs it down at around the 10-yard line. Will pick it up at his 2. Got to try and find some room to work as flag comes out. Mason brings it back out close to the 20-yard line. And we'll have to check what the flag is for.
Yeah, and that right there, number 5, Adam Archie, the 5'9", 170-pound senior for Putnam. On kickoff, he's what you call a wedge head. And what happens is on a kickoff return, you have a group of blockers that form a wedge, and they go block the opponents, and the returner reads the blocks and goes. So on the kickoff team, the wedge head is designed to go down there like a bat out of hell and just it's like a bowling ball hitting a bunch of pins. You're just going down there full speed. You're not trying to make a tackle. You're just trying to take out as many of those guys in that wedge formation. And he went down and actually made a great hit, but it was helmet on helmet, and they ended up calling a penalty there. And Liberty gets very good starting position here.
Not an enviable job, if you ask me.
No, I mean, it's like the old kamikazes in World War II. Japanese pilots just going head down at the naval ships.
The crash course testing out the cars, and Liberty starts out with the ball now at the 35-yard line. McBride fumbles the snap.
Yeah, and the Fawn's in there on the tackle. And
actually Byron Greenlee now in at quarterback for Liberty.
Yeah, and Byron, a very, very talented player. He had an interception in the first half, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore, so he's a very good-sized kid, has a very strong arm. I think this is going to be a kid over the next couple years as he continues to develop in the offseason that has a chance to actually be a very, very special quarterback. Yeah,
as you said right off the top of the broadcast, very raw player, but has some abilities and has some talents as he keeps it there and is taken down after a gain of about 2 yards as D'Auvergne was in on the tackle.
Yeah, and that was another good play, too, by Brandon McCune right there. And what's really been apparent tonight is the domination in the trenches by these Putnam big guys up front, offensively and defensively, and that's where games are won and lost.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because very rarely will you see a team not win in the trenches and win a football game, especially at this level. You saw it with that Huskies-Cardinal game up at CenturyLink Field a couple weeks ago where Stanford really dominated inside, but the Huskies were able to get it done. But at this level, you have to be able to at least manage.
And line is just such an unheralded position. And I'll say to you, who's the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots? Tom Brady. Who are their 5 starting offensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
And that's anybody at home. That's just the way it is. So to play line is kind of a special thing because you don't get much attention, but they're kind of a team within a team. They really make up a cohesive unit.
As the 4th down kick from Liberty will go out of bounds from Lave. And deciding just to keep it away from Mr. Stevens. He will remain in on offense, though. So the Kingsmen take over at the 47-yard line of Liberty.
And even more so, Deshaun is flashing back to that muffed punt he had because I think that was the last real opportunity he's going to get tonight to get a punt return. And that could have been his 4th touchdown because there was room open on it. And it's funny, that's how the great players are. You know, he's had 3 punt returns for a touchdown. He's had a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown. And tonight, I guarantee after the game when I talk to him, the first thing he's going to bring up is that muff punt right there. And that's just what the great players do. They never really focus on the great plays. They're always harping on the plays that they feel like they could get better.
As Stevens in the slot to Bailey's left. Pass will come out and through the hands of Devin Hager.
Yeah, Devin's had a couple drops tonight, and that's a tough play right there because it's almost sometimes it's on the verge of being a lateral pass. You know, that quick screen right there. And another big game tonight, Tigard versus Tualatin, and Tigard's leading 34-0 in both top 10 teams. Tigard is a for real team this year.
That one also on PlayOn Sports as Hager makes the catch there, shows a little bit of speed to get down inside the 40-yard line to about the 37 or 36, and it looks like it will be good enough for a first down. Still awaiting the official signal as it is. No, not good enough, at least right now. Head referee, it is a first down.
Now they're bringing him along. There you go. And again, for Putnam here, I think what Brad Lumen's trying to do, they're not trying to run up the score here. He's just trying to get his team going here. You know, they haven't had a chance with all these guys playing together.
End of 3 at Folker Field, Rex Putnam High School. It's all Kingsmen, 56-0. They lead Liberty. More action coming up here on PlayOn Sports. And back for the fourth quarter of action at Fulker Field at Rex Putnam High School in Oak Grove, Oregon. As it's been all Kingsmen all night, thanks in large part to Deshaun Stevens, but also Eli Skiles as well, who has 3 touchdowns. And the Kingsmen first down and 10 at the Liberty 37-yard line. Max Bailey at quarterback. He'll fake the handoff to Fleischman, keep it, and nicely read there by the Liberty defense as he's taken down for about a 3-yard loss on the play. And Taylor, bit surprised that Coach Lumen still has his starters in the game at this point?
You know, on a normal team, I would say yes. But again, I was saying it before we broke in the third quarter. He's got to get his guys reps together. Team gels, and that's why you see these teams. Green Bay, when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they had to win their last 3 games to get in the playoffs, and then they had to win on the road every game. And what happens is you develop cohesiveness. And this team, because of suspensions and injuries with Putnam, hasn't developed that yet. And so even with the score this way, he's trying to get these guys reps. He's thinking long-term here.
Fleischman will take the handoff up the middle, finds a seam, and gets it down close to the 30-yard line, about a 10-yard gain on the play, and sets up a third and manageable 2.5, 3 yards.
Yeah, I think if they score here, I think you'll see Bailey come out of the game. But even then, I'm not sure. He just needs to get him some reps and get these guys going where they know what one another's doing.
So Fleischman once again finds a gap. He's got the first down inside the 20-yard line, close to the 15 goes Tucker Fleischman. And another first down for Rex Putnam, and they are threatening once again inside the red zone.
Yeah, and another statistic, defensively, if your safety is your leading tackler, that's another bad sign right there too.
First down and 10. And reminder, we do have a running clock here because Rex Putnam's lead is more than 45 points as Fleischman once again takes the handoff down inside the 10-yard line to about the 8. So Rex Putnam quickly back up on the ball, as we've seen all night them run that no-huddle up-tempo offense. Stevens is split out to the left. Handoff will once again go up the middle to Fleischman, though, and Liberty defense there that time to snuff it out.
Yeah, and this is for Putnam, we talk about it. They just got to continue to work on themselves here. The game's, out of reach here, but this is where they got to work on their red zone offense right here. They're going to play a game down the road in this conference and in the playoffs where they're going to be in the red zone, and the difference between a touchdown or a field goal and not scoring at all will be the difference in the game.
So third down and 5 now for the Kingsmen. 2 receivers out to the right, including Stevens, who now comes in motion over to the left. He'll take the fly sweep handoff going to the outside. Contain is out there, but they let him get outside, and he actually looks like he steps out of bounds before he picks up the first down. He needed to get down close to the 5-yard line, and he stepped out of bounds right near the 6. So not a huge surprise that Rex Putnam will likely go for it here, but only picks up 4 yards on the play. Nice job by the Falcon defense.
Yeah, and if you're facing Deshaun Stevens, I'd say a scouting report for teams down the road, force him inside. Don't let him get outside. If you contain, he's not a guy who wants a lot of contact. He's not afraid of it, but, once he gets outside, it's over.
Handoff will go to Skiles. He bounces it out to the right, cuts it back up into the middle, and gets to the 4-yard line before he gets pushed backwards. 8.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, and Rex Putnam leading 56-0.
Yeah, and another stat, Thomas Tyner, the big-time running back from Aloha, we mentioned, the Oregon Duck commit, in the first half with 4 minutes left, had 15 carries for 311 yards and 5 touchdowns. He might be on track to beat his record earlier this year.
Pass caught in the corner of the end zone by Deshaun Stevens. He's done it all tonight. 3 punt return touchdowns, a long touchdown run, and now a touchdown catch. And it's all been Deshaun Stevens and the Rex Putnam offense tonight, 62-0 pending the extra point.
Yeah, and that you said it right, showing a little bit of everything tonight. The punt return touchdowns, he had an interception, he had a catching touchdown, and he had a running touchdown. So you talk about a diverse player that can beat you a lot of different ways. That's Deshaun Stevens.
The extra point is up and through. So 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And Rex Putnam on top, 63-0 here on PlayOn Sports.
one match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
Back live at Rex Putnam High School. And it's 63-0. The Kingsmen on top. It's been all Rex Putnam tonight. Take a look at some of the other scores going on around the state. Silverton on top of Lebanon, 28-6. Silverton, one of the top teams in 5A. Also, Central Catholic, no problem with Gresham tonight, 37-0 with 5.5 left in the third quarter at Gerald Winfield. And Wilsonville on top of Milwaukie, 27-6, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter there. Woodburn leading Dallas 21-14. And Tigard at the end of 3 on top of Tualatin, 34-0.
Yeah, for Liberty, I think for this team, they need to just get points on the board. You know, just try not to get shut out here. Go down, get a field goal, get a touchdown, get something. You're going to see the backups in for Putnam now, so this would be the opportune time to do it.
And kickoff is recovered by Rex Putnam. Took a bounce forward as Antion let it bounce and was expecting it to bounce back to him. The ball bounced back up the field towards the Rex Putnam coverage team. Yeah. And the Kingsmen, everything's going their way tonight, and jumping on the ball was Taylor Lewis.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know it's going your way when you recover an onside kick that you didn't even kick.
That wasn't supposed to be an onside kick.
Yeah. And right here, we see a new quarterback. I thought after that last series, if they scored, you'd see a new QB in, and you hear the crowd going wild. And this is always the kind of cool part of a game when you see somebody get in there and play that normally doesn't all season, and you see the teammates in the crowd going crazy.
Jacob Thompson in at quarterback, and he will immediately throw the ball down the field for Stevens, who makes the catch. Couple flags come out, though, and we'll have to wait for the official signal, but wouldn't be surprised if that's an offensive pass interference.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come back, and Eric Mollum is not happy.
No, he's not.
He's over on the other sideline. He took his headset off. He started yelling across the field at Brad Lumen. He pointed to the scoreboard, and I'm glad we didn't have a close-up of him, because I don't think, even if we read lips, it was very nice things he was saying to Brad.
And rightly so.
And I do get that. I do see Brad's side of it. You got a quarterback in there who otherwise is never going to play. He gets in there. You give him a chance to put that ball up and you know, try and get a touchdown pass, you know.
But maybe you take Stevens out of the game if you're going to do so, or
yeah,
at least don't throw it his way.
You know, I get it. I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
You know, I know Brad Lumen very well, and I know he's the last guy that would run up the score to try and rub it in someone's face. He's not that kind of guy. And Eric Mollum's a great guy, and I understand his side of it. That's just one of those tough situations.
So Thompson will take the snap. Blitz comes up the middle. He'll throw the ball down the field once again. Short hops his receiver, Eli Skiles. And Thompson, not the smallest of guys, runs 6 foot 235. Reminds me a bit of the old Kentucky quarterback
Jared Lorenzen.
Jared Lorenzen. Yeah, that's right. The battleship Jared Lorenzen, they used to call him.
That's right. And you see Jacob in there, and what's funny is not very often do you see a quarterback who's bigger than all his linemen, but he's back there, and you're right. He does lefty just like Jared Lorenzen as well.
Third down and 25 now for the Putnam offense. Low snap. Thompson picks it up. He'll throw it deep down the field. He gets taken out as he does, and nearly caught by Stevens and nearly intercepted by the Liberty defensive back, who picks the ball up. And the flag does come out back near where Thompson was taken down, and it's a holding on the offense.
And Deshaun was open right there. That would have been another touchdown for him. That safety made a great play right there. Deshaun outran the corner. If that ball's out there a little bit more or up in the air a little bit longer, Deshaun could have gone up. but the defender made a great play, and now we're going to bring it back, penalty on Putnam, and now they got third and another area code to go.
And I think that they are going to decline the penalty, though, so it will be 4th down. And sure, Liberty head coach Eric Mullen will not be happy about this, as Rex Putnam will go for it on 4th and 25. Unlikely that you would get it, but you would have to believe you're going to see another deep ball in the direction. And this one just thrown up in the air, nearly intercepted by Pittman. And if he would have picked it off, he would have taken it to the house.
Yeah. And if that would have been a good throw, that was a middle screen to Deshaun. Deshaun would have gone to the house that way too. And there's another penalty on that. It's probably going to be linemen blocking downfield. On a receiver middle screen like that, linemen can block downfield because the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. That ball carried down past the line of scrimmage, which means now it's a legal man downfield blocking like that, and that's probably what the call is going to be. Yeah, ineligible man downfield.
Ineligible downfield. Penalties decline. Liberty will take over on offense.
And they've stopped the clock, and I'm not sure why they're, the clock should be running here. There you go. The ref is looking up, signaling to run it.
Moving at this point, under 6.5 left to go in the 4th quarter. So the Kingsmen certainly with an impressive performance all the way around tonight on all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. Now look to preserve the shutout as we roll under 6 minutes left to go in the ball game, leading 63-0.
And this means everything to a team. The defensive guys, even the starters that are on the sideline, are cheering their guys on. They want to keep the shutout alive.
Greenlee will take the snap. He'll drop the throw, rolling left. He'll set it down. It's intercepted, and this one could be taken to the house. Moving down the field is Taylor Lewis. Lewis has got the sideline taken down at about the 21-yard line. Flag comes out late. It's going to be after the interception, though, so it will be Rex Putnam ball, and beautiful read there by Taylor Lewis to pick off the youngster Byron Greenlee.
Yeah, and this is interesting. Brad Lumen has Max Bailey going back in there. I think when they put Jacob Thompson in there, I think it was just to get him some playing time and experience, hopefully get him a touchdown. But I think to run the offense efficiently, they got Max Bailey going back in there.
So
now, if they have Max Bailey in there and they're throwing, now that's running up the score.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll see what Brad Lumen dials up here with the offense. And after the penalty, they will take over at the 27-yard line of Liberty. And it looks like Stevens is still out there. Yes, he is. He'll come out to the right side of the field.
And another interesting score, you got Oregon City in a tied ball game, 28-28 right now. And that one going to go down to the wire, I think.
Bailey will keep it on the quarterback keeper, take the ball down inside the 10-yard line. Big gain on the play of about 18 yards.
Well, and this is where we talk about running up the score. Right here, they're not running up the score. They're just running their offense. It's also not fair to the kids on Putnam to just take the ball and down it, with 8 minutes left in the game, now 5 minutes. So it's kind of like, hey, I understand, we're not trying to necessarily run up the score, but we're also just running our offense, and you got to stop it.
Handoff goes up the middle to Skiles, straight up the gut to about the 2. There's a second down and goal from there. And that's the thing. That's the hardest part, is that you're running the ball. The Liberty defense has to show some means to try and stop you. And you really can't be blamed for just running the ball straight up the gut. It's when you're throwing those 50 or 60-yard bombs to try and put an extra one on the board where the coach can get upset.
Another interesting score, Central Catholic beating Gresham 37-0 in the third quarter.
Yeah, Central Catholic has controlled that Mount Hood for a long, long time. As Bailey runs for the corner, he gets into the end zone. Flag down, though, on the play. So we will check the call before we officially rule it a touchdown. But yeah, Central Catholic is one of the powers in the state and always has been in the Mount Hood League. And Gresham's had some good teams over the course of the past couple seasons, but really have not been able to get things done when they face Central Catholic.
And they thought this year, Devontae Hoffman, one of the best players in the state, very dynamic, and I think they thought this could be a year. But Central Catholic, I'm telling you, they have Division I guys across the board, seniors and underclassmen. Talent-wise, it's the most talented team in the state. And now, whether they can play as a team and beat the likes of Aloha or Jesuit or Sheldon, some of these teams, Tigard, we'll see down the road. Central Catholic beat Jesuit, what was it, a week ago or 2 weeks ago? So they've showed they can do that.
And the parity at that level, Central Catholic a couple weeks earlier lost to Sheldon up in the Portland area. So continue to see those top teams in the state of Oregon at 6A battle it out, as the penalty is against Putnam. Handoff will go to Taylor Lewis, the man who made the interception, and he picks up some of that yardage and gets the ball down inside the 12, close to the 11-yard line. 3:23 clock running here in the fourth quarter, 63-0. Rex Putnam leads. It's been Rex Putnam, as you can imagine, with that scoreline all night long in many different aspects and ways getting it done, as the handoff will go to Lewis up the middle once again, gets it down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 4th down and goal from there.
Another game to mention that I think was maybe the game of the night was Southridge and Sunset. You know, Sunset had 2 tough losses against Aloha and Jesuit. Southridge has played very well, had some tough losses against Sheldon and Lake Oswego, both very good teams, and I think that's probably for that third-place game in the Metro League, and it sounds like Sunset's leading 3-0 in the third quarter. So
wow,
another good one going on. Not really an offensive battle. Sounds like the defenses are playing very well in that game.
Bailey will drop the throw, throws it over the middle just behind his receiver, Skiles, who would have walked into the end zone had he caught it. That was 4th down, so Liberty with the defensive stand, they'll take over.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really, really intrigued to see the interaction that's going to take place after the game between Liberty head coach Eric Mollum and Putnam head coach Brad Lumen. I know Brad Lumen very well. He's a great man. And Eric Mollum is a good guy. Eric Mollum, it's very frustrating. He's had a very frustrating year. You know, you can tell talking to him, it's been that way this game tonight. And I can see both perspectives, so it's going to be interesting to see that interaction and what takes place.
When you see this Rex Putnam team and the performance they put together tonight, this will move them to 500 on the year. Their losses to Crescent Valley, Hermiston, and Wilsonville. Where do you see this team fitting in the 5A ranks?
I think they're very talented. I mean, again, those teams you mentioned, all 3 of those are very good teams. 2 of them are top 10 teams. And actually Hermiston top 10 in their division, and they were dealing with suspension, so Deshaun wasn't playing. I mean, this Putnam team without Deshaun
for those first 2 losses,
right, is a completely different team. So I think they are legitimately a threat to beat anybody. They're good enough to go win it. I think they'd have to play a perfect game and not have the stupid penalties. Max Bailey, a quarterback, would have to make really good decisions, throw good passes. But when all the pieces to the puzzle are at least on the board, they have a chance to put together a pretty picture. And I think they've got a shot down the road. I think they got to clean some things up. But when you have Deshaun Stevens on the field, he's able to single-handedly keep you in a ball game.
As Greenlee will keep it after faking it to Mason, get the ball up across the 20-yard line to the 24, which will be enough for the first down. Under a minute left to play, so Liberty will quickly come to the line after the chains are set. As Greenlee seeing a little bit of action here in the fourth quarter, as Mike McBride went the majority of the way, and Greenlee, the youngster, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore, comes into the game and will keep it up the middle once again, as his tailback that he faked a handoff to got absolutely laid out. That was Cameron Colbert who got laid out by Jeff DeAuvern. 20 seconds left. We'll see if Liberty gets one more playoff here.
Another good game to mention real quick. David Douglas and Reynolds are tied 35 in the third quarter.
Wow.
Another close game.
So Mount Hood Conference looking competitive in league, as it always does, below Central Catholic, and that will be the game here from Folker Field. Rex Putnam, not much trouble with Liberty. They move to 500 on the year, do the Kingsmen 3-3 now, and as we mentioned, those 2 losses to start the year, they did not have the man who scored 5 touchdowns here tonight, Deshaun Stevens. So the Rex Putnam Kingsmen looks like a force to be reckoned with. We will jump out to the break, come back, give you a player of the game. Not a difficult decision here, but we'll be back with more after this on Play on Sports.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff.
prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the PlayOn School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And back for a final time at Folker Field here on PlayOn Sports. Rex Putnam gets the victory 63-0 over Liberty. Liberty now 1-5 on the year. Rex Putnam moves to 3-3. Deshaun Stevens, the big star tonight with 5 touchdowns, and I would have to imagine, Taylor, that he would garner the player of the game from you.
Yeah, you know, that fumbled punt, maybe I could heckle him a little bit and say, we were going to give you player of the game, but you fumbled that punt, so we just felt like somebody else deserved it more. But what he did tonight was almost superhuman. I mean, he showed literally when you have a touchdown running, catching, returning punts, multiple, and an interception. I mean, that's what more can you do for your team?
And when you look at both of these sides, we talked a little bit about Rex Putnam. Liberty's a team that looks like that this is a rebuilding year for them as they continue to really try and develop that program. It's a tough job for Eric Malhume, but he seems to be heading in the right direction. He's got some talented players. It's just putting the pieces together now.
Yeah, and he has some young guys, and they're going to go through growing pains. But the silver lining, and we talked about this before the game, we had mentioned it, the silver lining is that those guys get experience, which you can't teach experience. So they're going to keep getting better and better. They just got to keep their heads up, stay positive. That's where he's got to make sure he's leading that group, keeping them together, and things will get better. They'll see brighter days.
So it's a final here from Folker Field at Rex Putnam High School. The Kingsmen take care of business as expected tonight against the Liberty Falcons 63-0. For our engineers, Eric Edison and James Connor, and my analyst, Taylor Brown, I'm Fletcher Johnson. Great to have you along. You can find the broadcast later on, full replay on playonsports.com, also on OSAA.tv. Until next week, thanks for joining us. I'm Fletcher Johnson. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon on Play On Sports.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
Had 15 carries, 311 yards, 5 touchdowns in the first half. But he's not going to play in the second half. They're blowing him out so much. That Lakers game.